You think medieval survival was dirty, brutal, primitive, stone walls, animal skins, fire by flint. But what if I told you it wasn't primitive at all, it was smart? Because when winter came, when the cold crept through every crack, when the stone itself became your enemy, no amount of strength, no pile of silver, no crown of gold could save you. Only knowledge, only skill. Today we survive by systems, electricity, gas, glass, plastic, but systems fail. And when they do, the difference between life and death won't be comfort, it will be memory. So ask yourself, if the lights went out tonight, if the heat died, would you know how to stay alive? Stay with this video. Rediscover what your ancestors knew before survival became a luxury. From the outside, a medieval castle looks invincible. Stone towers, massive gates, walls thick enough to stop an army. But inside, winter turns that fortress into a stone coffin. The walls don't warm you, they drain you. Stone doesn't bend, doesn't breathe, doesn't burn. It remembers only one thing cold. The wind never stops. The floor steals the warmth from your bones. The hearth flickers. But beyond the flame, the cold always waits. People slept clothed, huddled half-frozen even beside the fire. And if you think this is just medieval history, think again. When the power dies, when comfort disappears, your own home could become the same trap. What saves you is knowledge. And the last technique. Technique 5 was the most powerful weapon of all. Stay until the end. You'll need it too. Technique 1, primitive insulation. In a medieval castle, the first enemy was not the cold. It was the wind, the invisible draft that slid through every crack, beneath doors, along windows between stones, turning rooms into ice chambers. There were no double-glazed windows, no silicone sealants, no modern insulation, but people fought back with what they had. They didn't have materials from factories. They had only what the land gave them. Moss, clay, straw, animal hides, rags. Everything that could fill a gap, block a breeze, or cover a hole was survival. They sealed the windows with wooden shutters. They stuffed door cracks with hemp fabric, or even mud mixed with straw. They hung thick curtains, not for beauty, but for life. In France and Germany, in Bohemia, archaeologists found remnants of moss-packed walls, soot-lined cracks, and clay-stuffed gaps in castle ruins. It wasn't elegant. It wasn't clean, but it worked. And today, when the grid fails, when the storm cuts power, the same principle applies. Seal the gaps. Stop the wind. Because warmth isn't just what you make, it's what you keep. Technique 2, heat trapping. In a medieval castle space could kill you. The bigger the hall, the colder the air. Heat doesn't fill a room. It clings to bodies, to fabric, to small spaces. That's why they didn't fight the cold by heating the entire hall. They shrank their world. Rooms within rooms. Screens, curtains, canopies. People built fabric walls, hung thick tapestries, stacked furniture to create tiny shelters inside vast stone chambers. Behind those barriers, heat stayed longer. The air warmed, fingers thawed. Archaeological digs in York, Bohemia, and Malbork confirm this. Hooks in ceilings, soot on beams, traces of portable partitions. It wasn't design, it was survival. Today we call it passive heating, eco-design, thermal zoning. Tiny homes, insulated tents. But when the systems fail, when the storm rips the grid apart, those ancient instincts return. Smaller is safer, closer is warmer. Survival begins by shrinking your world. Technique 3. Heat by food. In a medieval castle, survival wasn't just about the fire outside, it was about the fire inside. Food wasn't a luxury, it was a weapon. Hot, dense, fat-rich. Every meal was designed to do one thing: keep the body burning through the cold. Soups thick as mud, porridge so heavy it clung to the spoon, bone broth when lucky, salt and hot water when not. In winter, the kitchen became the heart of the castle. Chronicles from 14th century monasteries tell of increased meat broth and fat served in the coldest months. Hot wine spiced with pepper, ginger, cloves. These weren't for taste, they were for survival. They lit a fire in the blood when the hearth failed. In the harshest months, even the poorest received more hot meals, not for pleasure, but for sheer survival. Even today, modern bushcrafters know calories are heat, fat is fuel, spices boost circulation. When systems die, when rescue doesn't come, the body must burn from within. And it starts with what you eat. Technique 4. Layered armor. In the dead of winter, clothing was not fashion, it was armor. Layer upon layer, linen against the skin wool above that fur leather cloaks, every layer mattered. There were no down jackets, no high-tech fabrics, only what nature and hands could provide. In medieval castles, people didn't undress to sleep. They slept clothed, fully, because to expose skin was to risk death. Chronicles from Novgorod, England and Scandinavia describe sleeping in full dress, wrapped in extra shirts, capes, hoods, pulled tight sometimes with boots still on. Archaeological finds even show woolen caps and straw-stuffed shoes, layered from head to toe. It wasn't comfort, it was survival. Today's survivalists know this as the layering system base layer for moisture, mid-layer for warmth, outer layer for wind. It's the same principle, different materials. When the systems fail, when the cold returns, your body is the last defense, and cloth is your shield. The right layer means life. The wrong choice means the cold wins. Technique 5. Light versus cold. In the medieval winter, every window was a weakness. Light meant cold. Even the thinnest gap, an inch of open frame, let in the breath of death. There was no glass, no plastic, only horn sheets, oiled cloth, or animal bladders stretched thin. And when the frost came, light was sacrificed. Shutters closed, boards nailed, curtains drawn. The room sank into darkness because darkness was warmth. In some castles, even the kitchens were kept dark, the windows sealed to save every breath of heat. Historical records from Windsor Castle, Carnarvon, and Prague describe winter inventories, thick oak shutters, wool curtains, layered window coverings sealed with moss, clay, or rags. The less light entered, the less the cold could invade. Today, we cover windows with blackout curtains, seal doors, insulate frames. The instinct is the same. When the power dies, when heat is gone, forget the view, forget the light, close every gap. Because in survival, warmth is worth more than daylight. You live in a world that forgets. You believe warmth will always come, that walls will always protect, that the systems you trust will never fail. But history says otherwise. Winter has no mercy. And when the lights go out, when the cold creeps in, the only thing that saves you is memory. Skill. What you know before you need it. The people who survived medieval winters weren't stronger. They were prepared. They read the stone. They watched the wind. They built answers from cloth, wood, fire, and instinct. And you can too. Learn these skills. Practice before you need them. Subscribe, because survival spreads through memory, not luck. When the cold comes, it won't ask if you're ready.